Welcome back to another Terranscapes video, another Cocktails and Comments video. Today I have picked out a cocktail that uses Fernet Branca. Fernet Branca is an aperitif. It's very bitter and it has some floral notes in it, and it's sort of an acquired taste, and I've had a little bit of it, and it is certainly a strong flavor. It's one of the more bitter aperitifs as far as my research indicates, and so I thought, well, let me try a cocktail or two with it in it, as I haven't really sampled it as much as I'd like to. So this is a fanciulli, I think is how it's pronounced. It's Italian. And it is 1.5 ounces of bourbon and 3/4 ounce sweet vermouth and 1/4 ounce of Fernet Branca. And I have seen some other recipes, and they call for a higher quality sweet vermouth to compete with the Fernet Branca's flavor. It's very strong, but this is just the sweet vermouth I have on hand. Let's see it. Well, I think it's pretty good, actually. A little surprisingly so. I think the sweet vermouth helps balance it, takes up a little bit of the bitters. And bourbon is kind of strong, but it's a very complex flavor, this drink. The Fernet Branca adds a lot of depth to that flavor. It's complicated, and it makes the drink's flavor complicated. It kind of hits the sweet taste buds at the tip of your tongue, and also hits the bitters at the back of your tongue. So it's kind of it's not like it goes from sweet to bitter. It's like it does both at the same time. That's very interesting. I like it. But now it's time for viewer comments. First, I just want to say I was behind on my comments, and I've been catching up. Officially, I'm caught up right now. And I just want to thank everybody who wished me so well on my break. And I know this is belated, but when I was going through, just so many people thanking me for coming back. It was really, really nice to get that reception. So I just want to thank everybody for that. Thank you. Ryland Storm asks, in the cavity pour mold video, he asks, can you make a fleshlight with this? Short answer, Ryland, probably. And we'll move on. MK Rollo asks, how to clean Liquitex gel? And can you put a varnish over it? So he was looking at the river video where I was showing how to apply a gel to create wave effects, and Liquitex gloss gel is great for all sorts of water effects, and cleaning it to get dust off of it it's important, just in the sense that I like to clean everything with rubbing alcohol because it dries fast. It's got a great, it's a great wetting agent. So it's got a surfactant that, helps get into all the nooks and crannies of something. And it tends to be streak-free. So I have a bottle on my shelf. I use it for everything. Everything. If you don't have a bottle of rubbing alcohol on your shelf, you are missing out. Fantastic little item. So, don't use rubbing alcohol, though. It softens the surface and gums it up. I was a little surprised by that. So anything that's non-alcohol based should work. Windex should work, right? Because that's ammonia based. I don't like to use water on it as much because it tends to leave a spotty, residue. But I suppose if you wash that all off really, pat it down and dry it really well, it won't do that. But simple water, but I would think Windex would be a great option. Lisa Godin asks, she doesn't ask, actually. She said she appreciates me sharing what I did, why it went wrong, and the honest opinions I give about supplies. And I just wanted to thank her for that because, as I've mentioned in the past, some people feel maybe I focus on what went wrong a little bit too much, and maybe I should just focus on what went right. But it's nice to hear somebody appreciates that, and I think it's almost more important. They go hand in hand. How's that? What went wrong and what went right? Because I don't think you get a full picture if you only have one and not the other. And sometimes when I say something went wrong, I want to try to mention how it wouldn't have gone wrong if I did something different. So the wire armature trees are sort of the flag example I don't like that phrase. But anyway, they're my sharpest example of that. So I hope you find that helpful, and I will always give honest reviews of supplies. At the moment, I'm not sponsored by anybody, so that's easy. But even if I was sponsored by somebody, I've thought about that, and I thought, I'm still going to give an honest review, but I might give them a chance to respond to it before I would, put up my opinions. Nevertheless, that has not come up yet. So Lisa Godin also writes that she makes dioramas on cat food cans and how she loves creating and how the enjoyment of creating is so important. And when she makes pieces, some are good and some are fluff, use her word, and the fluff pieces go in the drawer and the other ones go out on display. She also says that learning from others, even if they're using a different form of art, can be helpful. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. First, two things. One is she's making small dioramas. Makes me wonder if I should make just small dioramas. Well, maybe I'll make a couple small ones down the road. But the beauty of that is that you get to practice more quickly. And that is something I'm always telling people to do when they're coming into the hobby new. I tell them, don't do anything big. Don't do a full playing surface. Do a 1x1 square. Do 3 of them. And see which ones you like and how you learned along the way. Then you can go to the full table, because you're going to be really sad if you do the whole table and you're like, I wish I had done this, or something like that. The other thing that I liked is how she mentioned learning from other art forms. And that is something that definitely plays a part in my work. And to be honest, I think they all kind of come together and they inform each other. So I've done a lot of looking into photography and how to, set up shots and composition and that sort of idea. Same for videography. How do you set up a video? What's the composition? Having something off center. I should be just a hair off center. Or the rule of thirds is another concept that comes into those. But I also take in elements from my gardening and when I'm landscaping an ornamental bed and how that moves and comes together, moves visually, and the textures and the colors. And I've also watched some Scopy artists, and that has been informative. And I don't do sculpting in Scopy really, and the work is at a slightly larger scale, but seeing some of the techniques and the way the material responds and some of the goals that they have and how they're putting that together, it's all very informative. So I like her championing that idea, and I would also, don't be afraid to look at other forms of art, hopefully they're interesting to you, and see how they can inform your work. I like this. Needs to be served cold, though. I didn't chill my cocktail glass as long as I would have liked. And it's supposed to be served neat. I think you could serve it maybe with a single cube in it, just to kind of keep it chilled. But it's really interesting. I'm going to write this down as one to make regularly, semi-regularly. Thick Night 1 writes, why didn't, this was the Incra Ruler video where I was giving a review of that, and he said, why didn't I just reshoot the video to correct the mistakes rather than add all my annotations, sort of like, it would only take you, I think he said, it would only take you 5 minutes to reshoot it. First, it wouldn't, because by the time I get to the computer and I start watching the footage, I am already partway into the editing usually when I see something that I want to fix. So sometimes the annotations are extra material that I forgot to mention or I didn't think of mentioning at the time I shot it. Sometimes they are to fix mistakes, things I said that weren't correct. And by the time I'm into, half an hour or 40 minutes into editing the video, the last thing I want to do is start all over again. When I go to shoot a video, some videos I can't reshoot. When I'm working like in the process of, there's just no option. The footage I have is the footage I have because I'm not going back and making a whole nother tree. But even if it's not a in-progress video, sort of getting back into that, setting up all that stuff again. Sometimes I've already put away the gear while I'm waiting for the files to transfer. I start breaking down things. So reshooting is tough, and I've done it when I had to, but I try not to. So hopefully you don't mind the annotations. I don't know. Nobody else does them. Nobody else I see does annotations. I don't know. I don't fit into YouTube. I don't fit, but I'm glad you guys like me enough to come back and watch. I appreciate that because I don't know. Nobody does things like I do. All right, well, that wraps up our comments for this video. Hopefully you found them helpful. I have additional comments that I will be putting into the next Cocktails and Comments video, which will come out at some point, not too far away, because I want to stay on top of things and stay caught up. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and perhaps you would be interested in trying a fanciulli. It's got a C-I, fanciulli, on your own, because it's pretty interesting. It's nice. Keep it cold, though. Hopefully you'll come back for the next Cocktails and Comments, because you know that I will be back soon with another Terranscapes video.